Yo, Lil Baby, eat a d.
Things just turned up between DJ Akademiks and Lil Baby's camp. K Rich, who's affiliated with Lil Baby, is claiming he slapped Akademiks in Miami.
I smacked the right-handed guy, bro. I smacked the
But it didn't stop there. Now there are accusations that K Rich and streamer Ty Lil also allegedly backdoored Akademiks.
You seem like a.
Akademiks is now going at Lil Baby directly, saying he's taking his frustration out on the rapper.
I can't take it out on a nigga I don't know. I'm up tens of millions of dollars. I'm taking it out on this boss.
Here's what I know. The incident and K Rich's claims. So check it. The streets of Miami just witnessed some real drama that got everybody's timelines going crazy. We talking about DJ Akademiks, the biggest mouth in hip-hop media, getting run down on by one of Lil Baby's affiliates. This ain't just regular internet beef no more. This situation done crossed over from the digital world into real-life confrontations, and the footage that's circulating right now got the whole culture talking. The person at the center of this whole situation is a cat named K Rich, also known as Kylan Smith, or Critch with the Cannon. Now, for those who don't know, K Rich ain't just some random dude off the street trying to make a name for himself. Nah, this cat been part of Lil Baby's inner circle for a minute now. He's been holding it down as the photographer, the cameraman, the videographer, the assistant, basically the dude who handles whatever Baby needs handled on a day-to-day basis. You might have seen him in vlogs chilling with Lil Baby's kids, Jason and Loyal, or posting content on his YouTube channel, showing that behind-the-scenes lifestyle that comes with being in a superstar rapper's orbit. K Rich got his own little following too. He been building his brand as Crick with the Cannon, a clever wordplay on his photography work with Canon cameras. The dude been putting out motivational content, vlogs about his life, even videos about getting his teeth done in Colombia. He positioned himself as more than just an assistant. He trying to be a content creator in his own right. But at the end of the day, his main claim to fame is his proximity to Lil Baby and the 4PF movement. But Akademiks don't see him like that at all. Nah, Ak been calling him the condom dispenser, the weed roller, the ball holder, the drawers washer, basically saying this dude ain't nothing but Lil Baby's errand boy who handles the menial tasks that nobody else wants to do. That disrespect been building up, and that's the energy that got us to where we at right now with this whole situation popping off. The footage that went viral shows K Rich appearing on streamer Cuffham's live broadcast, and he straight up made claims about what went down between him and Akademiks. He ain't holding nothing back. He telling the story like he proud of what happened.
I seen him like, Akademiks, I said, where? Like right there. So I looked. So I did.
K Rich kept that same energy throughout the whole broadcast, talking about how he pulled up on Akademiks and handled his business. He claiming he smacked fire out of AK, saying Akademiks ran straight to 12 after the incident went down. For those who don't know, 12 is slang for the police. So K Rich basically saying Akademiks went crying to law enforcement after getting touched.
I smacked this nigga. Oh, I'm gonna show you. I wish I could be my man's recorded video. Listen, but this right here, y'all know he was just there at the fight with you. AJ.
Wait, scroll it. AJ? Oh.
I pressed up on him. He ran straight to 12. They left AJ. How you leave your man's game? He was a hoe. So he be on the ground. I could be on the live talking shit like they ain't gonna touch a guy. I already touched you. I didn't.
Now here's where it gets even more interesting. K Rich ain't hiding behind nothing. He being bold about the whole situation, saying he been showing up to events specifically hoping to catch Akademiks. He putting it out there that this wasn't no random encounter. He been on the hunt.
I've showed up to every brand risk hoping you was there. You supposedly was with Ty Lil. I'm at every brand risk. You've never been there since.
This whole thing traces back to an earlier incident that happened in March 2025 at a club in Miami after a Brand Risk event. Brand Risk is that boxing event that streamer Adin Ross be hosting, and it brings together a lot of people from the streaming and hip-hop worlds. According to Akademiks' detailed account of what went down, here's the situation. He was leaving a club after doing his thing at the event. He's posted up in the car with his security, got some females with them, the whole crew just vibing and about to head to the next spot. Then out of nowhere, some dude walks up to his window and starts pressing him about talking slick online about 4PF and the Wham movement.
After we drove off, remember, he swings, misses, cause like I was kind of like this. He swings into the car, misses, like he hits the they drive off. I'm like, what the fuck? It's only one.
That's Akademiks' side of the story right there. He maintains that nobody actually touched him. The dude swung but missed when his driver peeled off and got them out of there. But K Rich telling a whole different story. K Rich claiming he connected clean and left his mark on Akademiks' face. Two completely different versions of the same event, and the internet is divided on who to believe. Now, the reason this whole situation is blowing up the way it is ain't just about whether somebody got slapped or not. It's about what this represents for the culture. We got a media personality who built his whole career and his whole platform on talking crazy about rappers, their teams, their families, their business moves, now getting confronted in real life by somebody who ain't feeling that energy. And we got affiliates of one of the biggest rappers in the game allegedly putting hands on him in public. The footage of K Rich making these claims spread like wildfire across every social media platform you can think of. X, formerly Twitter, was going absolutely crazy with clips of K Rich telling his side of the story. People posting screenshots, reaction videos, memes, commentary, the whole 9 yards. Instagram pages was reposting it. TikTok had it circulating. YouTube channels was breaking it down. The consensus from the streets and from a lot of commentators? Akademiks been asking for this type of energy for a long time with how he moves and how he talks about people. But here's the thing that really made this situation escalate to another level. Akademiks didn't back down. He didn't go quiet. He didn't try to sweep it under the rug. Nah, he came back with receipts, timestamps, phone records, and a full detailed timeline of everything that supposedly went down. And that's where this whole thing gets really deep.
Let me tell you this, I'm gonna cost your boss $1 million. I did this to the best of them, and I'm gonna do it to him. And stop being scared of 4PF. Remember I told you that. Little baby, I'm gonna take it out on you. Your money's no longer good over here. I'm stepping on everything that you got going on. Let's see how that works.
That right there is Akademiks declaring all-out war. But peep this, he ain't declaring war on K Rich. He declaring war on Lil Baby himself. He's saying he gonna take his frustrations out on the boss, not the worker. That's a whole different level of beef and a whole different type of energy. The thing is, this ain't even really about K Rich for Akademiks at the end of the day. He calling K Rich a nobody, a dude he can't really beef with in any meaningful way. Because the dude ain't got no platform, ain't got no money like that, ain't got nothing for Akademiks to really go after. But Baby got everything to lose. Baby got the career, the deals, the endorsements, the image, and Akademiks claiming he got the power and the platform to damage all of that if he wants to. What really got people talking in the comments and on the timelines is how K Rich was even able to get that close to Akademiks in the first place. According to Ake's account, he had 8 people with him that night. Security personnel, his camera crew, his people. The whole setup was supposed to keep random folks from getting too close. So how did some dude just walk up to his car window like it was nothing? That's where the second major player in this whole situation comes into the picture. The Ty Lil backdoor allegations. This is where the plot thickens for real. Because Akademiks ain't just pointing fingers at K Rich and Lil Baby in this situation. He putting another name in the mix that got the streaming. Community shook, Ty Lil. Now if you don't know Ty Lil, let me put you on game real quick. Ty Lil is part of Kai Cenat's AMP crew. That's the collective of streamers and content creators that runs with the biggest streamer in the world right now. Ty Lil been in the streaming game heavy, building his own audience and his own brand while being part of that AMP movement. He was actually known before the streaming wave really popped off for doing something called Demon Time back in 2020 during the quarantine era. Basically live shows where he had women doing wild stuff on camera. That's how he first got on people's radar. Ty Lil was at that Brand Risk event that night in Miami. And according to Akademiks' detailed breakdown, Ty Lil is the reason K Rich was able to get past all his security and walk right up to his car window. Akademiks saying Ty Lil literally walked K Rich through his whole perimeter like he was escorting a VIP guest.
After we drove off, remember, he swings, misses, cause like I was kind of like this. He swings into the car, misses, like he hits the shit. They drive off. I'm like, what the f? It's only one. I'm like, bro, look how many people, yo, spin back around. I tell my security that. He spin back around, we were a block up. I tell my security, yo, hop out the car and go see who swung at us, who he's with. He calls me, yo, he's in a Lambo with Ty Lil. I was just in an argument with Ty Lil at Brand Risk. He said, you want me to do something? I said, don't do nothing. Come back in the car. He gets back in the car. I said, I'll handle it. I call Ty Lil. Yo, I'm trying to say, yo, Ty Lil, what is this? What's up? You try to, I thought we talked, like, you got a problem? Ty Lil doesn't answer none of my calls.
So let's break down exactly what Akademiks claiming happened that night step by step. Earlier that same evening at the Brand Risk event, Akademiks and Tylil had a whole conversation face to face. According to Aki's account, Tylil was actually pressing him about some old stuff, specifically about Akademiks not tagging him in posts back in 2020 during the Demon Time era when Ak was sharing his content. Tylil apparently felt some type of way about not getting credited for content that was helping Akademiks get views. They talked it out right there at the event. Akademiks explained his side, Tylil expressed his frustrations, and by the end of the conversation, they supposedly squashed whatever. Tension existed between them. They exchanged phone numbers, dapped each other up, and everything seemed cool. Akademiks said he was actually looking at Tylil like, "You made it, bro. You in AMP now. Why you still worried about 2020 stuff?" But they worked it out like adults, or so Akademiks thought. Then later that night at the club, Akademiks saying his security and his people saw Tylil walking through the crowd toward where Akademiks was posted up in his vehicle. Since everybody recognized Tylil as the streamer that Ak had just had a civil conversation with earlier, they let him pass through without any issues. The thinking was simple. Tylil is a known face. Tylil just talked to Ak. Tylil must be coming through to say what's up or something. But here's the twist. Tylil wasn't alone. He had K-Rich walking right beside him, right on his shoulder. And nobody knew who K-Rich was. He was just the random dude with the known streamer.
Tylil kind of get through, there's 8 people in between me. I'm in a car. He get through and he got this with him. Nobody knows this guy. Right when they get to where I'm at, because I never seen Tylil, because I was asking, how did this get there? They're like, he was with Tylil. I said, I never seen Tylil. This is why I think Tylil is a backdoor ass. Tylil fell back and let him talk to me.
That's the key element right there that got Akademiks most heated. He's saying Tylil used his status as a known and trusted streamer to front for K-Rich and get him past all the security. Then when they got close enough, Tylil fell back into the shadows and let K-Rich do whatever he was gonna do. Akademiks never even saw Tylil at that moment. He only found out Tylil was involved after the fact when his security told him they saw K-Rich leaving in a Lamborghini with Tylil. That's what Akademiks calling a backdoor move, using the trust and access that comes with being a public figure to set somebody up for something they didn't see coming. In street terms, that's one of the most disrespectful things you can do to somebody. You don't shake hands with a man, exchange numbers, act like everything is peace, and then help somebody else get close to him for nefarious purposes. That violates the code. After the incident went down, Akademiks saying he called Tylil's phone 15 times back to back. No answer. Not that night, not the next morning, not the day after, not since. To Akademiks, that silence spoke volumes and confirmed everything he suspected.
Remember I told you we shook hands? We exchanged numbers. So now, my security come back and say, yo, Ak, the who swung on you, he's in a Lambo out front with Tylil.
The morning after everything went down, Kai Tanat himself allegedly called Akademiks to check on the situation and apologize on behalf of his crew member. According to Ak, Kai was copping pleas and saying he didn't think Tylil would ever do some snake stuff like that, but Akademiks wasn't trying to hear it. He told Kai straight up, Tylil is a backdoor cat and Kai needs to address that situation internally because that's not how real ones move. Now Tylil ain't really responded to all these allegations directly in any public way. He been quiet while this whole storm is swirling around his name, but his silence combined with the fact that K-Rich is now on multiple streams openly admitting to the confrontation is making people in the culture draw their own conclusions about what really happened that night. This is where Akademiks started making his bigger point about the industry and how certain people operate. He called Lil Baby and Tylil the two backdoors of the industry, saying they operate completely different from how real solid people are supposed to move in these situations. His point was simple. If you got static with somebody, if you got a problem, if you feeling some type of way about something, you address it directly like a man. You don't shake hands and exchange numbers and act like everything is all good, then turn around and send your peoples to do something grimy behind somebody's back. That violation of the unwritten code is what got Akademiks most heated throughout his entire breakdown of the situation. He kept emphasizing over and over, he ain't a street dude. He never claimed to be about that life. He's always been upfront about being a media personality who talks from behind a microphone, but even still, he knows how moves are supposed to be made when you're dealing with conflict. And this whole situation wasn't it. The whole streaming community got rocked by these allegations because of the implications. Tylil ain't just some random streamer. He's connected to Kai Cenat, who is arguably the biggest streamer on the entire planet right now. Now there's questions floating around about loyalty, about who can be trusted in these circles, about how the lines between streaming culture and hip-hop street culture are getting blurred in dangerous and unpredictable ways. What made this whole thing even more complicated and spicy is the broader context of the Akademiks and Lil Baby relationship. These two supposedly had already squashed their beef before this incident even happened. According to Ak's detailed timeline, rapper Rod Wave actually played peacemaker and put them on a three-way call together around December 2024. They talked out their issues, aired their grievances, exchanged direct phone numbers, and made an agreement that if anything came up in the future, they would handle it directly, man to man, instead of going through the internet. So for K Rich to pull up on Akademiks after all that reconciliation work had been done, that raised serious questions. Either Baby genuinely didn't tell his people that they had squashed the beef and K Rich was operating on old information, or, and this is what Akademiks strongly suggesting, Baby was playing both sides the entire time, and the whole peace talk was a facade. The Lil Baby connection and Akademiks' declaration of war. This is where all the pieces come together and we see the full scope of what Akademiks claiming and why he's now at war with Lil Baby specifically. After the club incident in March, Akademiks did what most people probably wouldn't expect from him. He reached out to Lil Baby directly, called him the next morning while Baby was just waking up. And according to Akademiks, this is how that conversation went. Baby supposedly said he didn't know nothing about it, didn't send nobody, and would never do no backdoor stuff like that, especially after they already squashed their beef with Rod Wave mediating. Baby allegedly told Ak that his people might have acted on their own because they didn't know the beef was over. Akademiks took Baby at his word back then. That's why he never brought this to the internet before. He figured K Rich was just some random dude who didn't know the situation, moved on his own, and Baby wasn't really behind it. But here's where it changed for Akademiks, when K Rich went live talking about it, when the footage dropped of him claiming the slap and bragging about it. At that point, Akademiks felt like the whole narrative had shifted. If K Rich is publicly claiming this and still in Baby's circle, then Baby must be co-signing it. And that's when Akademiks revealed something that changed the whole game. He claimed Lil Baby's team paid him $30,000 to chill out before Baby's last album dropped, paid him to stay neutral and not slander the project.
Lil Baby's team gave me $30,000 for that last album that dropped, and I had to like really be neutral and be nice. But I don't fuck with no one who think they could play with me like that. 30,000 is nothing. But I'm glad this shit is out there.
So think about what Akademiks is saying here. Baby's team paid him to not slander the album, but at the same time, Baby's people are allegedly running down on him in clubs. That's the contradiction that got Akademiks feeling like he was played. He called it a fake squash, saying you can't pay somebody to be cool publicly while having your people check them in the streets privately. That's operating with no code. Now Akademiks done made his intentions clear. He ain't going after K Rich because K Rich ain't got nothing for him to take. He going after Baby directly, the boss who he feels is ultimately responsible.
But I can't take none, nobody knows you. I'm taking everything out on Baby. So from here on out, what you said, I'm taking on Baby. You're his weed roller, cameraman. So all of this will be in Atlanta. Yo, why you hating on Baby? Don't mention nothing no more.
Akademiks saying he gonna cost Baby millions. And look, whether you like Ak or not, you gotta acknowledge his platform is massive. He got the biggest mouth in hip-hop media. When he decides to go at an artist, he goes hard. He did it with Meek Mill. He did it with Megan Thee Stallion. He did it with Freddie Gibbs. He knows how to weaponize his platform. The irony in all this, Akademiks had actually been supporting Baby's music recently. After they squashed the beef, he was playing his songs, giving the album shine. That's done now. He's saying Baby's money ain't good over here no more. What's also wild is how this connects to other drama Baby been dealing with. Remember, Baby been in the news for various things. That situation where Atlanta police connected his video shoot to gang violence, the Las Vegas arrest, all that. Akademiks ain't been touching most of that stuff because of their truce. Now, all bets off. The other angle here is the OnlyFans model situation that happened recently. Some chick allegedly exposed DMs with Lil Baby, showing him trying to holler at her, offering to buy her a Rolls Royce and all that. Akademiks covered that story and was roasting Baby about it. That probably didn't help relations either.
He says, I'm in Orlando, I came to find you. Then he says, so you went back home. I get it. I guess you went back home. It gotta be like, maybe you went back home to your boyfriend, because I think he kicked. I don't know what the hell going on. Then he says, I'm on the way to your house. I'm gonna show you crazy.
So you got all these different elements converging. The original beef, the supposed truce, the alleged backdoor move, the payments, and now the public footage of K Rich claiming he slapped Akademiks. It's a whole messy situation. The question everybody asking now is, what's Baby gonna say? Because Akademiks put the ball in his court. He basically said if Baby denies any of what he's claiming, then Baby is lying and he wished the worst on him and his family. That's how serious Ak taking this. Baby ain't really responded directly to all this yet, and that silence is speaking volumes. Either he's gonna have to address it, or or he's gonna let Akademiks keep spinning the narrative his way. For the culture, this whole situation is a reminder that the lines between internet commentary and real-life consequences are getting blurred. Akademiks been talking crazy about rappers for years, and now we seeing what happens when somebody decides to check that energy in person. Other commentators been weighing in too. One YouTuber broke it down saying Akademiks needs to either lay a demonstration or simmer down with the slander. He pointed out that Akademiks always talking that I'm and I'll call the police stuff, but you can't move like that and also be slandering people's families and calling them every name in the book.
Yo, little baby, eat a I'm not even gonna address little baby, you eat a because I don't know this. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm getting that little baby, because I've been waiting for this. Like, I can't take it out on a nigga I don't know. I'm up tens of millions of dollars. I'm taking it out on this boss.
That's real talk. Akademiks built his whole career on being that dude who talks crazy from behind the screen. Now we in an era where streamers and rappers is crossing paths in real life more than ever. Brand risk events, club appearances, industry functions, these worlds is intersecting. Whether you think he deserved it or not, whether you believe his side or K Rich's side, one thing is clear. This ain't over. Akademiks said he gonna spend the next 18 months making this his finest job, meaning he gonna dedicate himself to going at Baby harder than he's ever gone at anybody. The streets is watching to see how this unfolds. Will Baby respond? Will Tylil address the backdoor allegations? Will K Rich face any consequences? One thing for certain, the footage went viral, the claims are out there, and the beef is official. This is hip-hop media in 2026, where streamers, rappers, and media personalities collide in ways nobody could have predicted. Stay tuned. That brings us to the end of this video. For more interesting videos like this, click on the cards on your screen.